Level 1. The rejection. You are mid-song in an audition room where nobody is listening. The man in the center is on his phone. The woman beside him turned her chair away before you even started. You finish your song, but nobody cares. The man waves his hand without looking up and tells you to get out. You sit on the hallway floor with $11, a dead phone, and the wreckage of your 14th rejection this year. You are 26 years old and you have nothing. No contract, no deal, no future. But then, a man steps out of a stairwell. He tells you he heard you sing through the walls. He says you have something special. He says he can help you. But there is one condition. You need to be willing to sacrifice everything. He doesn't explain to you what that means. He leaves a card with only a number on it. He pauses in the doorway and says everyone at the top has already made the same choice. Will you? Level 2. The first ritual. 2 weeks later, you're broke and out of options. You call the number, but no one speaks. You give your address, and the line goes quiet. At midnight, a black limousine pulls up outside. The driver does not introduce himself. You drive for an hour through roads you don't recognize. When the car finally stops, you're at a private mansion. The driveway is lined with people standing perfectly still, each holding a candle. They stare ahead, completely silent. You are led inside. Stone walls, low ceilings, candles arranged in a pointed star on the floor. Robed figures stand in a circle, with their heads slightly bowed. You realize that these people are not performing, they're not pretending. They are inside a ritual, and you are joining them. A voice asks if you're ready to give yourself over, if you're ready to sell your soul to the devil. You don't have a choice. You step inside the circle, and you say, yes. Afterward, you walk back to the car, and something has changed. Not in the room, but within you. You have crossed the point of no return. You've just signed a deal with the devil. Level 3. The handler. You get a job without even applying for it. The contract is 41 pages. You sign without reading all of it. The same evening, a woman appears at your door. She shakes your hand like she already knows everything about you. Sarah is your handler. She manages which events you attend, which relationships survive, and which people you are permitted to speak to. She slides a folder across your kitchen table. Inside is a song, fully produced, mixed and mastered. You press play, and you hear a voice that is identical to yours. The exact texture, the breath between the lines. But you never sang a single word of it. You ask her who wrote this. She tells you it doesn't matter. And so, you publish the song. Level 4. The viral sensation. The song drops on a Thursday. By Friday, your phone does not stop ringing. You read the number of streams every second. The numbers just keep increasing by the millions. You call your mother. She cries before you can finish your first sentence. You both sit on the floor and just stare at each other, amazed. Your face is plastered across magazine covers that you didn't even know you were photographed for. Your first headline show sells out in 11 minutes. The people who rejected you, well, they start calling. All of them. But in the middle of it, you watch your music video for the first time as a viewer rather than as an artist. And you notice it. A symbol, geometric, precise, almost hypnotic. A pointed star appearing in every single frame in one form or another. In the background, in the jewelry, in the lighting itself. You watch it 3 times before you accept that this is how things are going to be now. You are now owned by the devil. Level 5. The symbolism. Your handler presents the concept for your debut album. It's extraordinary, hypnotic. It will make you a celebrity. But as you go through it, you begin to notice what's hiding inside. References to Satan embedded in every track. Specific symbols woven into the staging, the props, the hand gestures your choreographer is teaching you. Nothing is accidental. Every detail points in the same direction. It disturbs you, but this was the deal you signed. The album is published. The mainstream press calls it legendary, but certain online communities begin to notice. They point out every symbol in your videos. They're right about everything. You watch the comment sections fill with the correct observations, but then they're buried. Mocked, deleted, your handler laughs. Your satanic messages are reaching millions. But it's time for more. Level 6. The inner circle. You are famous now. Your handler tells you it's time to meet the important people. You are flown to a private island, which doesn't even show up on the maps. 11 celebrities sit at a long table. Every face is one you've seen on screens your entire life. But in person, something is different. The warmth is gone. Your charm, non-existent. They look almost soulless. The celebrity version of each of them, with the happiness and charisma and what made them special, was all a lie. An artist you worshipped since childhood puts a hand on your arm and says, "Welcome." His eyes terrify you to the core. His stare makes your body want to run away. But you can't. A silent man at the end of the table speaks last. He says that they've been waiting for someone with your specific talents for some time. He tells you that you need to do more for your god now. It is time to make you a serious asset. You will become important to Satan. Level 7. The sacrifice. Your handler arrives at your apartment. You never gave her the address. She sits down. She says what you have been given comes at a cost. The cost has not yet been collected. You need to prove your loyalty. You need to make a sacrifice. She tells you she made her own sacrifice 22 years ago. She says you stop feeling bad about it after a while. She says you come to understand that the sacrifice is not a loss. It is a gift. The proof that you are serious. That you have given yourself up to evil. You don't sleep for the next 3 days. You're not a victim anymore. You are a slave to your God. 8. The blood price. They tell you what the sacrifice for becoming a superstar is. It's someone you love, someone you care about. It's your best friend. You hesitate, but your handler says refusal is not an option. You have no choice. Reluctantly, you nod. They give you the name. You're given the tools. You are given the location, and you are given a time. This is not symbolic. It's not a metaphor. It's real blood. Real sacrifice. You tell yourself you can't do it. You tell yourself you'll refuse. But you've sacrificed so much for this. What more is one person? You are driven to the location, your tools in hand. The ritual begins. You do not remember the act itself. Your brain has blocked it out. But you remember the feeling, the emptiness, the disgust. Your masters congratulate you. They tell you that you did well. You drive home in silence. 10 days later, the body is found. The media calls it a tragedy, an accident. Nobody suspects you. Nobody ever will. You traded their life for your dream. This is the cost of success. Level 9. The transformation. 10 days later in the studio, something changes. Music pours out of you unlike anything you've made before. Unlike anything you've ever heard before. Your producer quietly removes his headphones after the third take and looks at you for a long time without speaking. He asks you, "What's happened to you?" You don't answer. Your career explodes overnight. Every song goes to #1. Every show sells out within minutes. Critics call the album a masterpiece and reach for the largest words they have to describe it. Transcendent, legendary, once in a generation. But not a single word in it belongs to you. You understand now that you are a doorway. Something with full access to your soul is using you to reach 300 million fans. And those people are receiving it with their arms completely open. You begin placing things inside the work. Not because your handler instructs you to, because you want to. Inverted symbols embedded in the lyrics. Reversed phrases in the outro. Small, deliberate signals encoded into things people will stream while they sleep, while they drive, while they're young enough that it will shape them permanently. You need to serve your God. And this is how you will serve him well. Level 10. The puppet. Your handler is pleased. She arranges a meeting with the people above her. Not handlers, not label executives, the actual leaders of the operation. The CEOs, the strategists, the politicians who appear in the news. They hand you a document. It contains everything you must do. Which ideas you are required to publicly amplify. Which cultural positions you are to signal. Which positions to speak about. You have 340 million followers who will do as you command. They move when you move. They buy what you sell. They think what you tell them to think. They are under your control. But none of it was with your skill. None of it with your talent. It was all arranged. The platform was built for you before you arrived. And it did not come for free. You've paid the heaviest price. You sold your soul for it. Level 11. The attack. You are worshipped by millions. Your image is everywhere. Billboards, posters, phones. You have become their god. But there is a problem. Your success is attracting unwanted attention. A journalist spent 4 months building a case. He has documents, financial records. He traced your label back to the ritual where everything began. You are petrified. You could lose everything. You tell your handler. She doesn't panic. Before the story ever reaches a single reader, it's gone. Not suppressed, erased. The journalist is removed permanently. He unfortunately died in a brutal car accident. Every trace of 4 months of documented work disappears from the internet as completely as if it had never been there. Your handler tells you that the Satanists did what was necessary, a choice they would do again, no matter the cost. After all, Satan comes first. He always has. Level 12. The Awakened. At an awards night, a legendary artist is going crazy. He wants to leave. He wants to be free. He moves deliberately. He knows where the cameras are, and he navigates through their blind spots. He reaches you in a corner and puts his mouth close to your ear, saying 4 words. They can hear everything. Then, security is on him immediately. 2 men appearing as if from nowhere, and pull him away mercilessly. Within a week, the operation dismantles him completely. His reputation is destroyed by a coordinated campaign across every platform simultaneously. His streaming numbers collapse. His tour is canceled. The news says that he is unstable, that he's a bad person, that something was always wrong with him. You never see him again. You don't know with certainty what happened to him, but you know what you saw in his eyes in that corridor, and it was not insanity. It was someone who had seen everything and decided the truth was worth more than the consequences. You begin to doubt everything, but then your handler comes to speak to you. Level 13, the final offer. Your handler calls you to a basement meeting. She says there is a tier above where you are, a level so secretive that you are not permitted to know it existed until now. The people at that level have a different relationship with what you serve, not transactional. Total. Entry requires a grand sacrifice. She tells you that the reward makes the sacrifice worth it. You must sacrifice your parents. She says it calmly and reassuringly without any sign of remorse. She says it's the final proof of complete surrender. The last thing a person holds on to is family. Releasing it is the completion of your journey. But you tell her, you can't. You've sold everything they asked for, but you can't do this. The warmth in her eyes does not fade gradually. It simply stops, like a light switched off. She looks at you with a stillness that is worse than anger and worse than violence. She simply nods twice. The door behind you bursts open, and you turn just in time to see the baseball bat coming towards you. When you wake up, your handler's people have released a statement. You've retreated from public life due to exhaustion. A sabbatical. The public sends their love. Your fans leave messages of support. You are detained forever by your masters. But your content keeps running. The videos stay alive. The satanic symbols stay in the frames. The reversed phrases, they're still there. The 340 million followers keep streaming, keep being influenced by the most evil creature on Earth. Whilst your handler continues to generate billions every year. You are gone, but the work continues. Even in your absence, you still serve evil. You still serve hate.